Hello students, here we are with another story, the story of Billy Bob, written by Enid Blyton. So from your Dreamcatcher book, chapter number 13, the story of Billy Bob, written by Enid Blyton. So this is the author, she is Enid Blyton and her full name was Enid Mary Blyton. So students, this writer, she was an English children's writer whose books have been among the world's best sellers since the 1930s. Okay, so since that time her works have been among the world's best sellers. Okay, and even now her books are so much popular and they have almost been translated into 90 languages. How many languages? 90 languages. Okay, so let us proceed towards the story, what it is there. So students, there was once a little boy called William Robert. There was once a little boy whose name was William Robert. So what was the name of the little boy? It was William Robert. Now, and his mother used to call him Billy Bob. So his nickname was Billy Bob. This boy, William Robert, his nickname was Billy Bob as his mother used to call him by this name. He was a useful boy and had a very good memory. Now students, here it is said he was a useful boy. Why he was a useful boy? Because he had a very good memory. Now if anyone has a good memory, then how can it be useful, or how can that person be useful? Let us see how a boy having a good memory can be useful to us. Okay, so one day his mother said, Billy Bob, please go to the grocer's and get a packet of tea. So here his mother tells him to go to where? To the grocer's, and for what? To buy a packet of tea. তার মা তাকে কোথায় যেতে বলছে? গ্রসারের কাছে যেতে বলছে, দিয়ে কি নিয়ে আসতে বলছে? প্যাকেট অফ টি. ওকে, নাও Billy Bob said a packet of tea. That means he repeated and he said, yes mother. ও একবার নিজের সঙ্গে বলল একটা packet of tea. Then he said, yes mother. After then, as he went to the door, his father said, Billy Bob, please get me a box of nails. তো যেই ও দরজার কাছে গেল, তার বাবা বলল, বেলি বব প্লিজ গেট মি আ বক্স অফ নেলস, আমার জন্য একটা নেলসের বক্স নিয়ে আসবে। নেলস মিন্স গজাল, গজাল, কিলো কা ডিব্বা। ওকে, তো তার মাদার কি বললো? আ প্যাকেট অফ টি নিয়ে আসতে, অ্যান্ড তার ফাদার কি বললো? আ বক্স অফ নেলস। নাও a packet of tea, a box of nails, said Billy Bob. Yes daddy. তো এবার ও রিপিট করছে, he repeated to himself, a packet of tea, a box of nails. That means up to now the two things are there that he needs to buy. He needs to buy two things, and what are they? They are, one is a packet of tea and another is a box of nails. After that, as he went down the path, his aunt, who lived next door, called him, Billy Bob, if you are going out, please get me a bag of buns for tea. So what it is saying over here, as he went down the path, that means যেই ও রাস্তাতে নামলো, বাড়ি থেকে বেরিয়ে যেই ও রাস্তাতে নামলো, his aunt, who lived next door. Living next door means পাশে বাড়িতে। ওকে, তো his aunt used to live the next door, পাশের বাড়িতেই থাকতো। তো his aunt called him, তার আন্টি তাকে ডাকলো, Billy Bob, if you are going out, please get me a bag of buns for tea. তো তার আন্টি ওকে বলছে, বিলি বব, যদি তুমি বাইরে যাচ্ছ তাহলে আমার জন্য প্লিজ একটা ব্রেডের প্যাকেট নিয়ে আসবে বা একটা ব্রেডের ব্যাগ নিয়ে আসবে। কী জন্য? চায়ের জন্য, চা খাবার জন্য। ওকে, সো নেক্সট, a packet of tea, a box of nails, and a bag of buns, said Billy Bob to himself. That means he repeated to himself and said, yes auntie. মানে ও ওর লিস্টটাকে আবার রিপিট করলো নিজে টু হিমসেলফ অ্যান্ড দেন হি সেড ইয়েস আন্টি. He was just going out of the gate when he met his uncle. Hello, Billy Bob. Are you off shopping? Here is 50 pence. Buy me a newspaper. Okay, so as he was just going out of the gate, যেই ও মেন গেট থেকে বেরোতে যাচ্ছিল তখনই তার দেখা কার সঙ্গে হলো? হিজ আঙ্কল, তার আঙ্কলের সঙ্গে. হ্যালো বিলি বব, এবার হি ইজ গ্রিটিং বিলি. ওকে, অ্যান্ড হি দেন সেইং, আর ইউ অফ শপিং? তুমি কি শপিং করতে যাচ্ছ? হিয়ার ইজ 50 পেন্স, বাই মি এ নিউজ পেপার. এই নাও, এই টাকাটা নাও. দ্য অ্যামাউন্ট ইজ 50 পেন্স. ওকে, দ্য অ্যামাউন্ট ইজ 50 পেন্স. সো হি ইজ সেইং টেক দিস মানি অ্যান্ড বাই মি এ নিউজ পেপার. আমার জন্য একটা নিউজ পেপার নিয়ে আসবে. ওকে. Then again, as he repeated earlier, in the same way he is repeating over here also. A packet of tea, a box of nails, a bag of buns and a newspaper. Yes uncle. So yes uncle, yes auntie, yes mother, yes father or yes daddy, এগুলো these are all the answers when all the people asked him to buy the things that they want. ও এগুলো কি, এই সবগুলো আনসার কখন? যখনই কেউ কোনো জিনিস আনার জন্য ওকে বলেছে, দিয়ে জিজ্ঞাসা করেছে তুমি কি এটা এনে দেবে, সো এই এনে দেবের আনসার ইয়েস মাদার, ইয়েস ড্যাডি, ইয়েস আন্টি, ইয়েস আঙ্কল. ওকে, so now he is repeating here in these lines ওর কি লিস্টে কী কী চলে অ্যাড হয়ে গেল বা ওর লিস্টে কী কী আছে যেগুলো ওকে নিয়ে আসতে হবে. so he repeated himself to himself and said yes uncle. He went down the road. Old Mrs. Brown knocked on the window when she saw him passing. এবার ও রাস্তার দিকে যখন নেমে পড়লো, মিন্স মেন গেট থেকে বাইরে বেরিয়ে রাস্তাতে যেই ও পা দিয়েছে তখনই ওল্ড মিসেস ব্রাউন নকড অন দ্য উইন্ডো, নিজের জানালা একটু ঠকঠক করলো. ওকে, শি নকড অন দ্য উইন্ডো ওয়েন শি স হিম পাসিং. যখনই বিলি ববকে ওখান থেকে পাস হতে দেখলো মিসেস ব্রাউন, শি নকড অন দ্য উইন্ডো. Billy Bob, please get me a pot of cream, will you? তো এই যে মিসেস ব্রাউন, শি ইজ ওল্ড, সো শি ইজ টকিং দ্যাট ওয়ে. হ্যাঁ, জাস্ট ইম্যাজিন দ্যাট শি ইজ টকিং দ্যাট ওয়ে অ্যান্ড শি ইজ সেইং দ্যাট প্লিজ গেট মি আ পট অফ ক্রিম. শি আস হিম কি, বিলি বব প্লিজ গেট মি আ পট অফ ক্রিম, উইল ইউ? এনে দেবে কি? ওকে, সো what Mrs. Brown wanted, she wanted a pot of cream. Now next, see what is there. So after Mrs. Brown asks him to bring a pot of cream, then he again does the same thing. He repeats the list that he needs to buy to himself. He repeats the list to himself, like a packet of tea, a box of nails, a bag of buns, a paper and a pot of cream. After repeating these things to himself, Bob says, yes Mrs. Brown. After that, on he went and met Mr. Jones. এবার যেই ও এগোনোর পর তার দেখা কার সঙ্গে হলো? মিস্টার জোনসের সঙ্গে. উইথ হোম হি মেট উইথ মিস্টার জোনস. এবার মিস্টার জোনস বলছে, হ্যালো বিলি বব, আর ইউ পাসিং দ্য ফিশ শপ? বলছে, হ্যালো বিলি বব, তুমি কি ওই ফিশ শপের পাশ দিয়ে যাবে? প্লিজ বাই মি আ নাইস কিপার, উইল ইউ? তাহলে আমার জন্য একটা খুব ভালো, খুব সুন্দর কিপার নিয়ে আসবে, এনে দেবে কি? হিয়ার ইজ দ্য মানি, এই নাও টাকা নাও. নাও স্টুডেন্টস, কিপার, হোয়াট ইজ দিস কিপার? কিপার means salted, dried and smoked flesh of fatty fish. So you understood the meaning of kipper? It is the salted, dried and smoked flesh of fatty fish like salmon. Okay, now what Mr. Jones wanted, he wanted a nice kipper, and as here or earlier you saw how Billy is repeating the list to himself. In the same way, here also he is repeating the list to himself. Okay, what he is saying: a packet of tea, a box of nails, a bag of buns, a newspaper, a pot of cream, and an ice skipper. After finishing repeating the things to himself, in reply to this, will you? Billy says, "Yes, Mr. Jones." Let us see what happens next. Soon he met Jim and Peter, and they showed him their new marbles. Now, who are they, Jim and Peter? They are Billy's friends. They are Billy's friends. Okay, so after crossing Mr. Jones, Billy meets his friends Jim and Peter, and what do they show him? They show him their new marbles. Now these marbles, you all like to play with marbles, like, right? So Jim and Peter showed Billy their new marbles, and after Jim and Peter, whom did Billy meet? It was Susan, another friend of Jimmy, and she told him how she had fallen down. Susan told Billy how she fell down, and also showed Billy her bandaged knee. That means she got an injury by falling down, and thus now her knee is all bandaged, what she is showing to Billy. Okay, I must hurry, said Billy Bob to himself. এবার আমাকে তাড়াতাড়ি করতে হবে, Billy Bob নিজেকে বলল। He went to the grocer's and brought. Well, what did he buy? Now see, what did he buy? This is the question that the author, the writer, Enid Blyton is asking to the readers. Who are the readers? We are the readers, as we are reading this story, right? So whoever reads is called the reader. Now this question is for the readers. Well, what did he buy? That means she is asking to us, what do you think he bought when he went to the grocer's? So what was the thing? What was the first thing he had to buy? It was the packet of tea from the grocer's, right? After then, he went to the ironmonger and bought. Can you tell me? Now see, again the writer is giving us a question or asking us that can you tell me what did he buy after going to the ironmonger? Obviously it was the box of nails, said by his father, right? After then, he went to the baker's, and what did he get there? So students, what does a baker do? He bakes cakes and breads, right? So it was his aunt, Billy's aunt, who wanted what? Who wanted buns for tea, right? So he went to the baker's, and what did he get there? He get the buns there. Now he went to the dairy and came out with what? Now see, here again the writer, the author, is giving us another question. She is asking another question, that what did he buy when he went to the dairy? So it was obviously the pot of cream for Mrs. Brown, right? And last of all, he went to the fish shop, and there he asked for a nice. Do you know what it was? Again, Enid Blyton is asking us, do you know what it was that he bought after going to the fish shop? Obviously it was a nice skipper for Mr. Jones. Okay, now, oh, what a lot of parcels he had, as you can see. As you can see his face also. So Enid Blyton is saying, oh, what a lot of parcels he had. As you can see how many parcels he has got to deliver. Off he went home, and on the way he repeated the list over to himself. As we saw earlier, that how he is having the habit of repeating the things to himself, right? So when he was on his way towards the home, he started repeating the list to himself as he did earlier. Okay, and dear me, Billy Bob had forgotten something. The writer is saying that, oh dear, Billy Bob had forgotten something. Now what it was that he forgot? Yes, he had. What could it be? আর কি হতে পারে? What it could be? কি হতে পারে সেটা? Yes, you are right. Means এতক্ষণে তোমরাও বুঝে গেছো যে সেই জিনিসটা কি হতে পারে। তো তাই এনিট ব্লাইটন বলছে, ইয়েস ইউ আর রাইট, হ্যাঁ তোমরা ঠিক ভেবেছো। হি হ্যাড ফরগটন হিজ আঙ্কলস পেপার, সে কি ভুলেছে? সে ওর আঙ্কলের জন্য নিউজ পেপার ভুলে গেছে। হি met a newsboy and bought one. That means on his way, whom did he meet? He met a newspaper boy. And what did he do? He bought one newspaper for his uncle. Now Billy Bob was happy. Why he was happy? As he bought all the things, all the stuff that he required and he required to deliver according to the orders given by all earlier, right? So he ran off home carrying 6 things. So how many things was he carrying? He was carrying 6 things. Okay, and who can tell me what they were? Now students, after reading the whole story here, you all already know what are those things. Okay, so what were the things? First, it was a packet of tea asked by his mother. Then it was a box of nails his father asked. Then it was buns asked by his aunt. Then it was pot of cream asked by no, it was a newspaper, right? It was a newspaper asked by his uncle. Newspaper. Then Mrs. Brown asked for a pot of cream, and lastly it was Mr. Jones who asked for a nice keeper. So these were the 6 things that the author is asking us to say, right? So students, this was the story of Billy Bob, where we saw a boy named William Robert, whose nickname or whose mother used to call him with the name Billy Bob. Here we saw how a boy with good memory can be useful. Now suppose if he was a forgetful boy, okay, যে সবসময় ভুলে যায়, তাহলে কি ওর জন্য পসিবল হতো এতগুলো সব জিনিস নিয়ে আসা? Obviously it was impossible, right? So now after reading the story, we understood how a boy with a good memory can be useful. This was your story. If anywhere you found any problem, then you are free to ask me. As I used to say, I am saying again and again, just ask me and get your doubts cleared. Okay, thank you everyone.